Hey everyone, how you doing? It's Craig Campbell from Pastor Craig's Vintage Cards, and got a lot of stuff to show you today. I'm actually was cleaning up my room here. It's kind of a rainy, cold November day here in Western PA, and I had stuff like kind of scattered around everywhere, and I thought I need to get a grip on this and put some stuff away and put some stuff in boxes, and so I was kind of cleaning stuff up and just wanted to show you guys some things that I hadn't. I don't believe I've shown you before, or if I have, it's been quite a while ago. And also, I have a really, really interesting story to tell you about YouTube channel and creation and the benefits that you get from making a YouTube channel, talking about some strange things, not strange things, but odd cards. And I had a fellow that reached out to me on one of my videos, and I got permission to talk about it. I'm just going to show it real quick with you. But uh, the guy had found a package of these 1954 All-Star photo pack cards, and I have three of them here. And I've got the Minnie Minoso and an Eddie Matthews and a Red Schoendienst. Well, this young man, he found a 1954 All-Star photo pack at a flea market type store, and it had the envelope, the original envelope that they came in. And he looked at it. He told me that he went back the next day to see if the guy still had it, and he said he did. And so he bought it, and he bought it for $50. $50. And he has shared some pictures with me. And in that 54 All-Star photo pack, there was the Ted Williams. There was the Mickey Mantle. There was the Willie Mays. There was the Jackie Robinson, Eddie Matthews, Stan Musial, Minnie Minoso. The list goes on and on. There were some that weren't in there, such as an Ernie Banks or the Al Kaline. There were the Robin Roberts and the Alvin Dark and some other ones. And I got permission from him, and I called him. I sent him my email. He asked for my email. I sent him my email. And then when he showed me the first pictures, I sent him my phone number. And he called me back, and he's pretty happy with what he has. And I recommended, I said, you need to at least send one of them off to get graded to make sure that they're legit, because we talked about, people and the ability to fake things these days. And so I said, I'd recommend send the mantle away and get it graded and make sure that you have, what you have there. And so I'm going to be following up with him. He was really excited, and I asked him for permission. He said, sure, I could talk about it. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how these turn out. What an amazing find. And he sent me some pictures. And one of the videos that I'm going to do next, I'll try to share some of those pictures. But those photos look so crisp. I mean, they are sharp. They are like really, really sharp. And often on these 54 photo packs, you're going to find, little dings like on the Schoendienst corner, and some discoloration. And, they were handled, they were sold at stadiums in 1954, and so you'd buy the pack at the stadium. And I'm sure that a lot of kids bought them, or parents bought them for their kids, and they got handled and so on and so forth. But to have the original envelope is pretty amazing. And so I'm really excited for this guy. I'm excited that he reached out to me. And that's really the value of our YouTube channels. When we show things, we have people reach out to us, and I was really glad to be able to help this guy, and we'll just see where it goes down the road. But I wanted to show you some things before I get things put away here, and it could be kind of a long video, so you might have to put it on playback speed like 2 times and just take a look at it. But let me get the camera paused, and I'll turn it around, and we'll show you a few things here. Okay, here we go. I was going to apologize about the clutter in my desk, but then I'm not going to because it's cleanup day. But here's I think I've shown this before. It's a nice Duke Snider. These are from 1962, from the 76, the portraits, and just like that Snider. It's in pretty good shape, so I'm going to probably send this off to get checked out, get graded. And of course, here's a Don Drysdale from that same issue. And so I'm going to get the Drysdale probably sent away and get it graded. And Speaking of Drysdale, I believe I've showed this before. This is the 1963 pinup, and got this at an auction. Kind of a neat item. It's really big, and there's a Sandy Koufax also out there that I'd like to get, but real happy to add this Drysdale. Kind of a unique item to the collection. Wanted to show you a few pictures I had, a couple of Packer autographs. Donnie Anderson, one of my childhood heroes, and nice autograph playing against the Bears. Love the face mask on that. A great Packer. Ended up getting traded to the Cardinals. And here's Chuck Marison. He was a running back. You can see he's playing against the Rams and at Green Bay. Looks like they're playing at County Stadium in that game there, but nice autographed picture there. Really good running back. Of course, not of the class of Taylor or Hornig, them guys, but here's a picture that I have, a real nice one with Eddie Matthews, Hank Aaron, and Frank Torre. And you can see the bunting up on the stand, so I'm believing this was probably from the 57 World Series, more than likely. Or the 58 World Series. And not trying to bounce around from sport to sport, but Bart Starr, my childhood hero. That's in Green Bay, but the yellow railing and the field looks pretty sloppy. He hasn't been on the ground too much in that game. Must be kind of early. And you can see right where my thumb's at. That guy's got a big piece of mud. Looks like Bart's only been down a few times. Maybe taking a knee at the huddle or something, or some slop that got kicked up on him, because he's pretty clean in that picture. And, sticking with Bart Starr, that's a favorite photo of mine. Just love it. That's kind of how I remember Bart Starr in my memories at the towards the end of his career, and got to meet him a few times. A great man, just a great player. Love him. And here's another really nice picture that I have that I like with Hank Aaron. Just a cool picture with the follow through, and I like the fact his glove, is laying down there. So those were all just they're not like type 1 photos or anything. They're just some photos. And then here's a nice Eddie Matthews. I've shown that before, I know. I'm getting ready to but getting ready to put these away and clean up some space here in my room. This is my favorite photo of all time with Eddie Matthews with the ball and glove, the third out, 1957. Game 7, Braves beat the Yankees. And love that. Yeah, Lou Burdette, Del Crandall, and Eddie Matthews. And for me, that's the picture of redemption for Matthews to make the third out. And just a great picture. Here's an autographed 500th home run. It lists all of his home runs from the 1, 100, 200 up to his end, the 512th. And this is a spring training photo. And nice autographed memorial here of Eddie Matthews. Love that. I've got a couple of things of his, and wanted to show you the Eddie Matthews. This is the pure oil Eddie Matthews. I have the Hank Aaron also, and it's not. The Hank Aaron's got some issues with it, but gonna send this off to get graded. Like the portrait with the batting helmet and the hat underneath it. I think that's really cool, and just the classic swing. And really happy to have that. And speaking of Eddie Matthews, I wanted to share with you a few things that I have. I don't know if I've shown them before. I'm going to send these off. I need to get them graded. I keep saying that. But here's a Eddie Matthews, a press steel, and you can see the faint ballpoint signature across there. And it's a nice press steel. This is the postcard one, number 2458 out of 10,000. Here's a really nice Eddie Matthews piece. I'm drawing a blank on the name of it right now. But going to get this sent off and get graded. And, it's a desirable piece. I'm sorry, I just cannot remember the name of it right now. I've sold this before. This is maybe my favorite piece. This is the Dexter Press, 1967, with the Astros. Love this piece. They're pretty hard to come by. Have the Preferred Portraits, which I picked up at the National. And Dave, Legends of the Dugout Measle, he was the one that found it. And Matt at the card store, he got the Hank Aaron. And I have the Eddie Matthews. And need to get that sent off. Another Perez Steele Matthews. This one's got a nice bold signature on it. And this one here is numbered 8775 out of 10,000. So I need to get that one taken care of. And I've shown this before. This was just a 1990 Eddie Matthews autograph ticket. Cost $10. And the show was in Sturbridge, Massachusetts. And just kind of a neat piece to have for the Matthews collection. This is a recent pickup. Got this at an auction at REA, and real nice autograph. This is a Ron Lewis. It's got the PSA authentic signature. Really a pretty desirable piece. Just a great picture of him, a great drawing. And these were the Living Legends set. They're numbered out of 5,000. And I got this at the REA auction, and really happy to add that. So those are my Eddie Matthews items that I need to get sent away. This here is a Joe Adcock Spick and Span. And really like Joe Adcock. He was a really important piece of the Braves. And so just a nice piece. I've had this for a little while, I guess. And Spick and Span, need to get that one sent off to get graded. I do the press steel, and I got the Al Barlick press steel. But of course, the big piece here is you got catcher Roy Campanella, and you got Willie Mays, and what a great drawing of the action at home plate. And so I got this Al Barlick, and just really happy with that. Numbered 4367 out of 5,000. So I just pick up these great moments when I can, and this one here, the price was right, and so I grabbed it, and really happy to have that. Here's a fairly unique item for an Eddie Matthews collector, which I am. It's a handwritten letter by Matthews on January 17th of 86, and he says, "Hi, Bobby. So nice to hear from you and receive your nice invitation to attend your old-timers reunion. And Bobby, you may have heard my 30-year-old son, Dan, lost his leg in an automobile accident just a year ago. Plus my daughter, Kay, just went through a divorce, 3 children involved. The oldest 5.5. The husband left 2 days after the divorce. So there's much going on. He says Dickie and I are helping out in many ways, hence my negative answer to be with you in July." And so it's kind of cool to have a handwritten letter by Eddie Matthews. And just the reality of life, for all of us, no matter what station of life we are in, no matter the level of fame, there's always seems to be family issues. And Eddie Matthews had his fair share of them. And so just a real cool item to have. I'm digging through the stack of stuff over here just to give me a chance. This here's a real recent pickup. And the thing that's really cool about this is these are 1979 Old Pantry Food Mart, which was a convenience store in Wisconsin, and it's a fight childhood cancer. And it was these cards, you could pick them up. There's no information on the player other than just the name, Quinn Buckner, and the back of the cards are all the same, but I picked this up. This is Quinn Buckner. He was a point guard for the Milwaukee Bucks. Of course, he was a great college player at Indiana University, led the 76 Hoosiers to an unbeaten NCAA championship. Jerry Augustine, Milwaukee Brewer pitcher, saw him pitch a lot for Milwaukee. Larry Heisel, he was a great player in Minnesota. He came to Milwaukee in 78 or 9 and ended up having some real bad, I think it was shoulder problems, pretty much limited his career, but he was on pace, I really thought, just to be a great player. So Larry Heisel and Sal Bando, a great leader, of course, a 3-time champion with the Oakland A's, and he later moved into leadership on the Milwaukee Brewers. Just a great third baseman, and that was the captain of the A's, and was just a good player. But I think his leadership qualities are even better. Cecil Cooper, loved the Cecil Cooper. He was came over from the Boston Red Sox in a trade for George Scott, and Cooper really from 78 to probably 84. I mean, he was one of the premier first basemen in baseball, and I would even argue, one of the top 5 hitters of that era. I mean, he had it all. He had average, power, doubles. I mean, he was just a good defensive player. But Cecil Cooper was a great player for the Brewers. Larry Sorensen, a pitcher for the Brewers. Junior Bridgman, he was a great offensive player for the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, he could really fill it up. And just one of those guys that never got much notoriety, but boy, was he good. He was a great player. Then you have Kent Benson, also on that 76 Hoosier team. And, of course, he was kind of a bust in the NBA. And his very first NBA game, he found out. As they say, mess around and find out. And he elbowed Kareem in the rib cage really, really strongly. And Kareem punched him in the face, broke his jaw. And Kent Benson, he found out. But, didn't really have very much of a good NBA career. The other thing that's noted that I should mention about Kent Benson is he treated Larry Bird like crap when Larry Bird went to the Indiana Hoosiers, I believe, in 74 or 5. His very first year, Kent Benson treated him like trash. And Larry Bird never forgot it. And throughout his NBA career, whenever he could get isolated against Benson, it was his sole mission to abuse him and embarrass him. And Larry Bird did a pretty good job of that against Kent Benson. John McLaughlin, there we go, one of my favorites. Johnny McLaughlin, he was with the Bucks in the early 70s on their 71 NBA championship team. I got his autograph when I was a kid, and just a great player and a true Buck, Milwaukee Buck guy throughout his career. He had positions, I think, announcing, maybe even in some management position with the Bucks, but just a great guy. And here's a forgotten person, Marcus Johnson. I mean, he was in the NBA, especially in the Eastern Conference with small forwards when you had Julius Erving and Bernard King, and just on that list went. But Marcus Johnson came out of UCLA, and he was such a smooth player. And I don't know if he's in the Hall of Fame. If he's not, he should be. But Marcus Johnson, he could fill it up. And it looks like he's going up against, I want to say that maybe Cedric Maxwell from the Celtics. Don't know for sure. Steve Wagner, Green Bay Packer. Pretty much nothing to really say too much about Steve Wagner's career. And then Rich McGeorge, he was a great tight end. Back when tight ends were mainly blockers, but he was a really good tight end in the 70s for the Packers. And there were only 2 Packers in that whole series. That was it, just the 12 of them. So, Rich McGeorge. Lastly, I'm going to show you some magazines that I need to get put away as well. This is a Robin Yount from 1982, the year they went to the World Series and then lost to the St. Louis Cardinals in Game 7. October 11th of 82, Rockin' Robin. He was my childhood hero. Here's one I've shown you before. Lou Burdett, Top Performers, March of 1958. And the Man of the Year he was. And I just love looking through these old magazines. They're just so cool to look at. And so I love collecting magazines. I want to thank the Drew at Vintage. he kind of turned me on to these. Here's kind of a neat cover, sliding into first base, and there was an article about Eddie Matthews in here. I think that's why I picked this one up. But a Sport Magazine, October, only 25 cents. Great moments in sports, and got this one here with Paul Hornig on the cover. Just a great magazine, and some really cool articles in there. And of course, you got Mickey Mantle, Roger Maris, the M&M Boys. Just a real neat magazine. Here's my man Jim Taylor. I'm telling you what, I'm going to do a story about Jim Taylor, but boy, I'm reading his book right now, and Taylor was one of my heroes. And if you don't know about Jim Taylor, you need to know about him. He was a great player, and his '62 season was remarkable. He was the MVP of that year. And Bob Turley of the Yankees, and there was an article also in here about Hank Aaron, and Eddie Matthews was in here too. So nice sport magazine. And again, I just love flipping through those. There we go, my main man Eddie Matthews on the cover of Sport, and Lou Gehrig article, and just some really cool stuff in there. Love these magazines. They're so cool. There's a sport magazine with Herb Score on there, and there's an article about Eddie Matthews in there, and kind of a cool thing. And then Billy Martin with the Detroit Tigers, and again, I picked this one up because there was an Eddie Matthews article in there as well. So really happy to have these magazines. They're a neat part of the collection. And I wanted to share you something I don't think I've shown you before, but it's my Wonder Bread football sets. From 1974 through 75 and 76. And you can see these look like the 71 tops, but they're not. These are from 74. So you got Larry Zonka, Bob Greasy. You can see the backs are quite different than what the original ones were. Alan Page, Jim Otto, Paul Krause, Paul Warfield, there's Dwight White, Phil Villapiano, he was a really good one, Gene Upshaw, and I really like these Wonder Bread cards are really cool. L.C. Greenwood, Jack Ham. They weren't very big, kind of a smaller set. And then you got the 75s, got Jack Ham, L.C. Greenwood, Alan Page. I haven't looked at these for a long time. Drew Pearson, Bob Greasy, Chuck Foreman, Franco Harris, Larry Little. Chuck Foreman, he was a great player. I'm telling you, he was one of the first backs that did it all, catching, running. He was just really good. Ray Guy, probably the best punter ever in the NFL. Ted Hendricks in his lone year with the Green Bay Packers. And then we move into the next year where you've got Gene Upshaw. Again, they were small sets. Chuck Foreman, Franco Harris, Craig Morton, Charlie Taylor, one of the great players in the NFL. And Gary Apremian, Cedric Hardman, Jack Youngblood, Jack Ham, Bill Berge, he was a heck of a player too. Just a really cool set. I've had these for a little while and haven't looked at them in a while. You almost forgot about it. Fred Carr up there in the upper left, a great Green Bay Packer. He was a really good linebacker when Green Bay wasn't too good. So yeah, that's the Wonder Bread set. So anyways, I just wanted to share you guys with some of these items that I have, and just the importance of doing the YouTube channel, you know, with this guy finding the those All-Star pack cards and reaching out. We'll see where that goes, but he paid $50, and I think, boy, he can. I don't know if you've seen the prices like on a really goodly a good mantle. I mean, they are really expensive. So this guy has one heck of a find, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it turns out for him. So anyways, wanted to share this video before I wanted to share these items with you on video before I put them away. I know it's really long. if you stuck around to the end, thanks a lot. And everybody just have a great day and keep on collecting. This is a great hobby, and we will talk later.